Imagine walking alone late at night, headlights cutting through the fog, when suddenly you spot a figure. But this isn't just any figure. It's tall, unnerving, and wearing a rabbit costume. This is the legend of the Bunnyman, one of America's most chilling urban legends, rooted in real events. Tonight, we dive into the story behind the mask. It was a chilly October evening in Fairfax County, Virginia, 1970. Fog rolled in off the nearby woods, wrapping the abandoned Colchester Overpass in a gray, suffocating mist. The autumn wind rattled the wooden planks, carrying an unsettling groan with every gust. The wind had a way of whispering through the trees that night, carrying with it a cold, damp chill that seeped into your bones. It was late October, 1970, and the fog rolled in heavy over Fairfax County, Virginia. The Colchester Overpass, a crumbling old bridge, abandoned and isolated, stretched over a shallow ravine. Its wooden planks groaned beneath the slightest weight, and the shadows seemed to stretch longer than they should. Edward and his friend Tom had been daring each other to explore the bridge. Teenagers, fueled by boredom and bravado, thought it would be fun, a thrill, a story to tell. "You really think anyone actually lives out here?" Tom asked, his voice cracking just a little. Edward shrugged, shining his flashlight down the old path. The beam cut through the fog, illuminating twisted trees and the sharp drop of the ravine. "I don't know, maybe ghosts, or something worse," he teased. But the laugh died in his throat when he realized the sound of the wind wasn't the only thing moving in the mist. There was a figure. At first, it was just a shape, half hidden in the fog. Tall, unnaturally still. But as it stepped closer, the details became horrifying. A white rabbit costume, filthy and torn, clinging to a frame that was far too large to be just a man. Its head tilted slightly, unnervingly, and in its hands, an axe. Edward's flashlight flickered, casting a strobe of shadows across the fog. Tom let out a strangled scream. "Run!" Edward yelled. The teens bolted, stumbling over the warped wooden planks. Behind them, the heavy thud of boots and the metallic swing of the axe echoed across the bridge. The fog seemed to swallow them, yet somehow every shadow seemed alive, reaching for them. They ran until the road opened up, lights from distant houses spilling like a safe haven. Only when their lungs burned and their hearts pounded could they stop. Behind them, the bridge stood empty, but Edward swore he could still feel those hollow eyes watching. The story didn't end there. Just a week later, a couple driving home late at night found themselves on the same stretch of road. Fog clung to the trees, headlights slicing through the gray mist. And then they saw him, a figure in white, standing in the middle of the road, impossibly still, staring. The man slammed on the brakes. The figure tilted its head slowly, like it was studying them, understanding their fear. The couple dared not move until it vanished, dissolving into the fog as silently as it had appeared. Over the following weeks, more sightings emerged. A jogger claimed he saw the figure at the edge of the woods, axe raised as though waiting. Children whispered about the man in a rabbit suit who lurked near abandoned buildings. Locals avoided the bridge after dark, leaving it to the shadows. Investigators eventually traced some of the events to a man named Douglas Griffin. He had a history of vandalism, some threatening letters, and yes, he had been spotted in a rabbit costume. But even knowing his identity didn't erase the fear. The legend had grown beyond him. The Bunnyman had become something else, a specter, a shadow that preyed on imagination. Decades later, teenagers still dared each other to visit the overpass. Some wore rabbit masks themselves, hoping to scare their friends. Videos surfaced online claiming the Bunnyman still haunted the woods, and every time someone ventured near the foggy bridge, the hairs on the back of their neck stood up. Because the scariest part isn't the costume. It isn't the axe. It's the uncertainty, the feeling of being watched, the whisper of movement in the fog. Even now, if you were to drive down those dark, empty roads, you might see a flash of white, a shadow, something tall, standing just beyond the trees. And you'll wonder, is it a prank, a memory, or is the Bunnyman still out there, waiting for someone daring enough to get too close? The Colchester Overpass stands silent, decaying and empty. But some legends never die. Some fears never fade. And some creatures, real or imagined, live in the spaces where darkness and imagination meet. Next time you're alone on a foggy road, headlights slicing through the mist, take a moment. Listen, because sometimes, when the wind blows just right, you might hear it. The soft, deliberate thump of boots on wood, the scraping of metal, and the whisper of a rabbit mask moving in the shadows.